Okay, I'm 44 and I've been on benefits for over 10, 15 years. I've had the help of an advocate in the last 6 months for the first time in my life. I've never been offered one, and yet I've been homeless. I've been with the police. I've been in domestic violence services. I've been in a refuge. I've been in mental health services for over 20 years. I've never, ever been offered an advocate. And through the advocate that I've got currently, through the volunteer work that I do, she has helped me do a housing application for the housing register with the local authority. I'm currently in private rented and always have been, and it's very unstable. And she's helped me do a PIP application for my disability. I have previously tried to do housing applications and failed, and I've previously tried to do PIP applications and failed. And the advocate is, she's actually a volunteer herself, but she is very experienced, very knowledgeable, and her help and support with the application, I'm on the waiting list for the housing, and my PIP application is in, and they're lengthy processes that will take a long time, but I've got my foot through the door with both of them, and it is 100% with her help. And not only the practical support and her knowledge and experience of the importance of the nuance of the wording on the forms, but she had a great understanding, both personally and professionally, that these applications are really traumatic, because you are repeatedly asked about all your problems. And basically you have to write on a form about the shittest time of your life and talk about it and why you need, you're very much like begging. You're made to feel, not good, and that why you need help. And it's quite humiliating. So she would meet me for sort of 1 hour a week, and we'd go over it, and then she'd text me in between. And we could have easily, the process for each form took over a month to do the form. It was very lengthy, very complicated, but she was very aware that it was making me unwell. It was exhausting, and she didn't want to do that. She wanted to help me, but not push me. So it was very, very supportive, gentle, nurturing help. Then, the flip side, historically, when I've tried to do it by myself, I put less than a third of the information that I put currently, because I didn't, I was just filling in a form as best I knew, and I can really see now why I failed before. In actual fact, historically, my situation was more dire than it is now. I was in more need of help historically. Also, as I stated, the impact on my health, because before I did it on my own, and then I had a situation where I had to go for a medical assessment for a PIP application. I was taken in a room, the door was closed, there was 2 men, and they did a physical examination on me. I had a panic attack, I freaked out, screamed, and ran out the building. And an advocate, as I said, I've got a current application in with PIP, and the advocate will come with me to my medical assessment, and that situation will never, ever happen with an advocate with you, because an advocate would straight away say, this person, first of all, doesn't need a physical assessment because it's mental health. Second of all, there's trauma, so please don't touch her. 2 men with a woman, that's just like unethical, and don't close the door, but as a vulnerable, woman, if you are told, go in this room with these 2 men, okay, I'm here for my assessment. This is what I have to do to get my PIP. You don't question it. You don't know in your vulnerable state that you're able to question things, and this is really, really important. Advocates are not only helping people access the help that they're entitled to, but they're actually helping the system not re-traumatize them. And, if that's presumably the last thing any professional would want to do. There's a huge amount of problems that people have that lead them to needing benefit help. and those problems are often not linear, you know, and they can come and go, and people can have moments of stability and being well, and then things can happen that can set them back. And the other role that advocates can be brilliant for is for signposting. And advocates are very often an amazing fountain of knowledge of all the different support out there. The position of advocates is critical for people to get help, but it's particularly critical for people who have history of trauma or mental health or homelessness, because the system is very rigid, and the people, including myself, are really vulnerable to the assessments, to the criteria, even the application form. The application is very complicated, and there is a lot of detailed questions, a lot of detailed information needed. And in any role, in any professional role, you wouldn't just be given your first day of work and like go and sit at your desk and there's your job. Everyone in every, you know, you're given training on work, you're given support, things are explained to you. And yet a very complicated form is just, you know, there's no support. So there's actually more help given to professionals, you know, and I sort of just thought of that as I've said it, but I think that's quite an important breakdown, you know, that people are expected to be, you know, I mean, there's this expression, isn't it? I think it's expert by experience, which in extent, if you're disabled, you make an application, you are an expert by experience, but you're not an expert of the DWP. You don't work for the DWP. So to be given help with a form is, you know, the DWP staff are given help to do their job. So that.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. No matter what.